Okay, we're just waiting for notification that we are live, and then we'll get started here. Taking just a few seconds to connect, so I want to make sure we are all set. Okay. Just a couple more seconds. All right, we are live. I just wanted to make sure that we were completely connected because we didn't want you guys to miss a thing. We are going to go ahead and get started and let Theresa start by revving her hair right away while we wait for you all to join. So Theresa, if you want to get started, I'll tell everybody what we're up to today. So if you are joining us, we want to give you a few minutes before we get started with the details. And during that time, we'd love for you to drop in the comments section where you're joining us from. So we are everywhere from Ohio to Connecticut to California. The California girls are in the house over here on this side of the screen. And we were just talking about how we hope that I don't have an earthquake because of the way that my computer and light are set up. It's all very, very shady. But that said, we want to make sure that you guys are all shouting out where you are from so that in the future we can tell you where our salon partners are and you can go in and try Rev for yourself. We also want you to add purple hearts in the comment section as a way to say thank you to all of the frontline folks who are still working tirelessly at hospitals. And we have our own RN on today. I can't believe she's joining us and made time for this. So Shanice, thank you so much.
No problem.
So extra purple hearts for Shanice right now. As you can see, Theresa is doing her hair now. She is a type 2. She has wavy hair and she uses RevAir. It takes no time at all for her hair. You can see the one side, which is air dried, and then you can see how quickly she was able to do that section, how shiny and how straight it became. And the goal for today is to constantly have somebody revving the entire time we're talking. So while Theresa is doing that, I'm going to interview you gals, and we're going to hear a little bit about how you discovered RevAir. But first, I want to start with the fact that it is tax day, or it would normally be tax day if we weren't going through what we're all going through right now. And so that made me think about how we tax our hair and all the horrible things we do to our hair. So I'll go first sharing a hair horror story, and then you girls can go next. Mine is that my mom, I told her I wanted highlights, and she said, okay, but she didn't want to pay for me to go to like one of the fancy salons. And so she took me to the local cosmetology school, and they let this gal do my highlights, and she basically burned my hair into like a gummy texture, and my dark hair became orange. And when I came home, my dad was like, your hair looks like a pumpkin. You cannot go to school like that tomorrow. And I was like, no kidding. I'm in high school. Like, I was crying because you know when your hair is bad, you don't want to go till next day. So what they would have paid to get my hair done, my dad had to pay like a correction color. And I ended up having to cut inches and inches off my hair. And I mean, that's just one. I used hot sticks, I've used curling irons, I've used flat irons. You girls are taking deep breaths, so I know you have a horror story. I know I'm not the only one. So, okay, Danielle, you go first. Give us a hair horror story, something that taxed your hair in honor of tax day.
Okay, I don't know if I can compete with that, but actually just last year. I got a crochet style, which is a very widely accepted protective style. So I got crochet spring twists where my own hair was in braids, and then they crocheted some spring twists, but I ended up having about 150 or so extra hair in my head, extra 150 twists. And I think maybe because my hair is fine stranded, I only left it in 2 weeks. And when I took it out, all of my hair I had lots of hair falling out. It was covering my hands.
Oh,
every time I put a comb through it, it was horrible. That's how I ended up using the RevAir though. So.
Oh, good. Well, good. When I ask you your discovery thing, it'll just Popped right into there. I mean, that's more horrible. Mine, at least my hair was still there. Now it was the texture of like glue and like gum, and it was as orange as this piece of paper that I happen to have here. But at least it was still in my head. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay, Shanice, what do you got? Tell us your hair horror story.
I feel like I don't have a horrible story, but the biggest thing for me, when I was back like younger, I used to get perms a lot. And when I decided to transition to natural,
we all shake our head. Yes, we've all had a perm.
So like I was in college, you know, money was tight and all of that, and my hair was like dyed like this bright red color. And as I like grew out my natural hair, like the permed hair would start to break off because it was like a thinner, like it wasn't as strong as the natural hair coming in. It was just like breaking off in sections. Like, and I was trying to grow it out for as long as possible before I cut it because I was like, I always had like longer hair, so I was like, And then like one day I just couldn't deal with the two textures. It just wasn't looking good at all. And I just like went for it and cut it. And I had like a little patty, which I grew to love my short hair. I cut my hair like 3 times since then. But the first time around, it was like between the red color and, you know, like red fades to like that pink.
Sure. Dirty. So you have to do it all the time because red is like the hardest color to keep in your hair.
So I ended up having like this short little patty, and it was just, it was a, I had to grow into it. But.
Well, I appreciate you both sharing your hair horror story. I think before we get into your RevAir, like before and after time, if you guys both want to mute and go ahead and start revving, let's do one section each, and then I'll get with Theresa on that, and then we'll come back together and chat. Well, hello there.
Hello there.
Quite a before and after. So
right?
This week,
yes.
And that fast. I mean, like maybe 3 minutes.
So I said I have 3 sections. It's going to take me like not even 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so great because this week I really wanted to show only half of a head and make sure people understood what hair looks like naturally versus when you rev your hair and just how quickly that can happen. Now, if I just showed it on you, obviously people would be like, of course, our hair is straight. Like, of course that thing works. So I'm so excited to have Danielle and Shanice here because they have coily hair. And that is oftentimes where people think this is just too good to be true. So I'm really grateful that they're joining. But you can tell from one side of your head to the other. Can you turn your head a little bit so people can see the shine? So you've got that side with the texture, and then look at that shine. It's ridiculous. So healthy.
I know.
It's great. So for everybody who's watching, who probably has heard your voice or seen your name if they've engaged with us at all, from a customer engagement perspective, Theresa is our customer engagement director. She leads our team of amazing, selfless, hardworking, the nicest people. People cannot believe how great our customer service is. Like, it just floors them every single time. But I know you guys get a ton of questions all day, every day, whether it's text, chat, email, or people calling. So I thought you and I would maybe go through the top 5 questions tonight. So why don't you tease us with one question? Let us know what people are always asking and what we need to get out there for the world.
Sure. So I feel like the first, not even question, but how would I even get a hold of our support team, right? Like you were saying.
That would be great.
Right. So you can go to myrevair.com and you can hit up that chat bubble on the bottom right-hand corner of our website. So you can chat with one of our live agents. If we're not available, there is an offline form and you can just fill it out. And then immediately when our team is back on, we'll go ahead and respond. We have a 1-hour response time. So typically we respond fairly quick. You can get in touch with us via phone if you want to talk, or you can text if that's easier. And you can text at 440-462-6100. Or you can go ahead and email us at support@myrevair.com. And those are kind of the different channels. Really, we're everywhere. Whatever way is convenient for you and easiest for you to be able to get a hold of us, we're there to help. So whether it's DM, social, phone, text, however it is, we're willing to help. So that's how you get a hold of us. And I would say the top number one question would be, do you have a payment plan? So do you have different payment options? So we do. We have 2 different payment options, which is like a buy now, pay later option, which is Afterpay, and PayPal credit. So those are 2 different payment options that are great for our customers. We understand that, RevAir is an investment, and it helps that you can make either monthly payments with PayPal credit or biweekly, not biweekly, over 6 weeks for Afterpay. So they're really great options for our customers.
They are. I'm so glad you brought that up because I noticed that I neglected in the last few weeks when we were starting the series, whenever somebody would discuss that it was such an investment and the price of it, not only would I share with them, well, you're not getting keratin treatments anymore. You're not having to go to the salon for blowouts. You're not, I was telling them all of those ways that they were saving money. And I was assuring them that we have a 30-day love it, own it guarantee where we even pay the return shipping for you. But that doesn't get exercised too much because people really love it. But that we have that in place is kind of like an insurance plan for people. I kept neglecting to say, and there's payment plans. There's
payment plan options. Yeah.
So, and if I'm not mistaken, I just want to make sure I'm not misspeaking. Even if they get it during one of our promotions and on sale, they can even take advantage of the payment plan. Is that correct? Great.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, you can see what's going on there with the gals who are revving their hair. You can see from one side their hair that is natural, just cleaned and out of the shower, and then you can see the side that they're revving. And so they're going through each of their sections. I'll talk with them in a few minutes about what is happening with regard to their time savings and the heat levels. But let me tell you what's actually happening in that wand right there. So I've just brought a wand with me instead of the whole device. But what you see Shanice and Danielle doing is they're placing their hair into the RevAir wand, and this is the mouth of the wand. Inside of here, there's little dots, and those dots are what address, you can kind of see them right there, and that's what addresses the root. So oftentimes people say to me, yeah, that seems really great, but can it actually get your roots? And the answer is yes. So long as you're putting it up against your scalp and you're moving it around slowly. You don't need to pump it. No, Jersey shoring it is what we call it. You don't have to do the pump. Yeah, exactly, Theresa. You just need to move it around. That is going to get your root area. Also, right here, you have the different heat levels. So there's a high heat, which even at its highest is like minimal heat. Theresa, when people ask you how hot it is, what's your answer? I don't have a temperature gauge number, but I have heard it's like 100 degrees less than the lowest setting on your straightener. Is that fair to say? On your blow
dryer and straightener. Yeah, yep, that's exactly right. I mean, there's different variables, whether or not you're using high or low, or if your hair is damp or wet, but yeah, it's about 100 degrees less.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure I didn't misspeak on that and make that good news up myself. There's also a low heat, and then there's a no heat setting. So if you want to do like kind of a cold shot, it works amazing. Now your hair goes into here, and I literally pulled this off the hose so you can see there's nothing in there. People are constantly saying, well, can my hair get cut? That's probably on your frequently asked questions list. Can my hair be cut in there? Can my hair be tangled in there? There's 4 years worth of aerodynamics that went into the shape that's inside of this wand. And it allows your hair to fly in the air so that it's drying from root to end, and it's doing it 360. And that allows you to dry your hair. Well, it's just one of the ways. It allows you to dry your hair 3 times faster. The other thing is it's using reverse air. That's why this is called RevAir. It stands for reverse air. That's a fancy term for suction. And what it does is there's cuticles all over your hair. If you looked up at your roof, it'd be like roof shingles. And flyaways and frizz are caused by those lifting up. This pulls, like I say, it goes with the flow, right? Your cuticle goes with the flow, and it has the air pull it in the direction that it wants to go, so it makes it sleek and soft and shiny, and it seals the cuticle. So it looks like the gals are coming back here with us. Are you all set, Shanice?
Yeah, I did basically a quarter of my hair.
You are really fast.
No, perfect. It's really fast. So
fastest that I've done it.
That's the fastest you've done it? Well, I'm so glad you could do it on here that fast. So why don't you tell us, obviously one side is clean, fresh out of the shower, wet hair. Why don't you tell us about what you used to do before RevAir and kind of what that meant from a time perspective?
So before, I used to use like a blow dryer and a comb attachment, or a blow dryer and like a paddle brush to try to like straighten my hair. Well, not straighten, but blow out my hair. And I would have to go in sections, probably smaller than the sections I just did. And it would take a long time, but it's more so not the time for me. That's the biggest thing for me, is the breakage. Like I feel like I would notice like way more breakage of my ends going with the blow dryer and such, and the higher heat, and just and then the hand-eye coordination sometimes is just not there. But like,
yeah, I always joke that you have to be like a contortionist. Like you
yeah,
have to be able to do your arms in all these crazy ways to get your hair straight.
Yeah. So I think the difference for this time though is I turned it up to 7. The last time I did it on 6. And I think this has actually gotten my hair more blown out, I guess flatter this time, and quicker. So I'm actually excited to finish the rest of my hair now.
Great. So Theresa, I was thinking while I talk with Danielle, even though your hair is dry, just so maybe people can see the reverse hair of this section, maybe you could just put some sections in, mute it, and then once you've done that and you see that I'm kind of finished up with Danielle, we'll switch back and let them do a few more sections. Sound good? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Danielle, how are you doing over there?
Good.
All right, let's see. Turn from one side to the next. Let's see your natural side and then your Rev side. Look at all those inches.
Yes.
Amazing. So how long did it used to take you to do your hair before Rev?
Well, I couldn't really blow dry my hair before the Rev. The one time I tried it years ago, I think it took close to 2 hours, and it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. There's that horror story again.
When I've gone to the salon and they've done it with the paddle, kind of the tension method, it would usually take about an hour, and then I just see my hair all over the floor and
everywhere.
Of course.
We talked about that on other Wash Day Wednesdays. I was saying that my mom is Hawaiian, which you'd never know from my super light skin, but my mom is Hawaiian, and so she has this, and growing up it was especially long, but tons of dark hair. And she would like have to sweep the bathroom floor with like a tissue to pick up all the hair after she would do her hair. And she always says how much she loves Rev for that, because when you use a RevAir, it, first of all, you're not using a brush and you're not using anything else that will use friction on the hair. So that's what really creates breakage, right? Or one of the ways that we create breakage and hair loss. So with this, because there's none of that, you lose so much less hair. And then the hair that you do lose goes straight into the filter. So you don't really have to clean up your bathroom after either. Mm-hmm. So while Theresa is doing that, I'd love to hear your discovery stories. But let's go ahead and let you get back to Rev'ing, Danielle. And then we'll start with your discovery story, Shanice. Tell me where you found RevAir. Tell me, did you think it was too good to be true? Give me the real deal. You can say it for real.
So, I want to say between Facebook and Instagram, I kept seeing like ads for it, but I really didn't believe it at first, because I felt like the natural they would do is like it like straight hair. So I'm like, that's not straight enough. I don't think so. But then I kept seeing like more videos on it, and like when I realized, or like really looked into like what it was about, the reverse air technology, and like how it doesn't use as much heat and prevents breakage, I was like, you know what? Let me give this a try. Like I saw enough hair texture where I was like, okay, this might be legit. So let's just try it. And I think I saw it on like a Black Friday sale. So I was like, well, if the time is any time, the time is now. It's on a discount. So let's try it. And I've loved it since. So that's that.
That's awesome. Well, it does seem too good to be true on some things. I think when women are sold so many things that really don't work. I mean, I always joke that there's like a graveyard full of like dead devices and beauty products in every woman's home. So I'm really grateful that you took the chance and that you found that it worked. I think there's so many people that say, I just didn't expect it to work, and I was completely okay with if I had to ship it back. And now they say, I can never live without it. Like, I wish I had one in every hotel I visit. I wish I had one in every family member's home that I have to visit. In fact, I'm trying to book someone for a wash day Wednesday in a few weeks, and she has bought 4. She's bought one for herself, 2 of her sisters, and 1 for her college daughter. So she pretty much is setting it up that wherever she visits, they'll always do one, which I think is a lot of fun. Well, while you, if you can, go ahead and if there's a few more sections back there for you to do, that'd be great. And then Theresa and I will go back to some frequently asked questions. Thanks so much. Okay, Miss Theresa, can you hear me? Oh, you're still on mute.
Sorry, I had to turn my machine off. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So because I know there'll be somebody out there who says, well, she was revving her dry hair. I know.
Right.
She was. You didn't catch us. She was revving her dry hair because I just wanted you to see how the device worked, how her hair went into the device, and how her hair, there was no brush, the tension of the device. So while I was chatting with the other girls, I just wanted to give you that opportunity. But if you could turn from side to side, I see your hair is air drying on that side more and more. And you can see now, besides the fact that it's wavy, there's some frizz coming to it. Now look at that side. Like, this shine is ridiculous. Turn your head. Look at you getting all beauty blogger, running your fingers.
I know. I'm like,
kind of like leaning into the camera. Like a minute ago, you're like, I don't know if I want to be on this. And now you're like, I'm feeling myself.
I am feeling myself. That's what Rev does to me.
I know. You like pet your hair and you start feeling yourself like you're suddenly like a hair model.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, why don't we go through a couple more frequently asked questions while everybody is revving some other sections of their hair?
Sure. So I feel like another question that's frequently asked is, will RevAir work for me? Right? Mm-hmm. So obviously I have a different hair type than you have a different hair type, and Shanice and Danielle, and everybody has different hair types. No head of hair is the same. And what's beautiful about RevAir, as you had mentioned before, it has 2 different heat settings, and it has 7 different tension settings. So truly it can work on every single head of hair, whether it's textured hair, curly hair, straight hair, and yeah, exactly, all the different tensions. I use tension 3 because I have wavy hair, but I use high heat, and that's able to give me the ability to not have to use a flat iron. And some customers may have to use a flat iron, but it's substantially less. So it's, will RevAir work for me? And I think it also goes into one of our other top FAQ questions is return guarantee. So of course, we offer a return guarantee, and we want you to try RevAir to see if it works for you, to get it home in the comfort of your own home and use it and play around with it. And I thought it was interesting that Shanice had shared that she used a tension 6 last time, and she used tension 7 this time. So the beauty of our Own It, Love It guarantee is truly you have 30 days to play around with it. And it takes a little bit of time to be able to find out your different settings. Tension settings, heat settings, section size, and things like that, that our support team can definitely help personalize based on your hair type and texture and what you're looking to achieve. That, you know, we have this great Own It, Love It guarantee to be able to play around with those different settings, because once you find them, you know, they're kind of locked and loaded and they're yours.
Exactly. I think that that's a really good point, because oftentimes too, when you think about buying a flat iron and buying a blow dryer, I mean, even a decent one, you're at like 300, maybe even closer to 4. And so when you think about those things, you're really not off base, because this is a 2-in-1. It's doing both things. Now, admittedly, and we say this all the time, your hair and how straight and silken it got is not how coily hair, because the texture is different. So people will say, but, you know, Shanice's hair isn't really straight. Well, her hair is stretched. And what that means for her is she can go into a protective style, or if she does flat iron it, the amount of time is lessened. So that lessens the damage that can be created. So really it's just the foundation to getting her there faster. I know in subsequent, in previous Wash Day Wednesdays, people would say it was taking them 3 hours to just blow out and flat iron their hair. So in this, and I've been talking to them, we're 20 minutes into this, I've been talking to them and they've been stopping. Think of how Shanice and Danielle's life has changed, because now if they did want to flat iron it or throw some beachy curls in there, it would be so much quicker, because they're almost done with half their heads. And and it's been 20 minutes with stopping and talking and visiting. So it really changes things. Any other things that people ask you, because I think they're about to finish up here in just a moment.
Sure. I think another question is, do you ship internationally? We get that question often because we have fans across the world, which is really exciting for us. And we love hearing from, everybody that's asking and has interest in RevAir, which is amazing. Currently, we ship to United States and Canada, and then we have a warehouse in the UK, so we also ship in the UK. Currently, that's where we're at. We're hoping that we can keep expanding on that, but the best way to sign up the best way to be alerted is to sign up on our newsletter on our website down at the bottom, which is myRevAir.com, and then you can sign right up for the newsletter and be the first to know when we expand internationally.
That's great. We do. All day long, we hear from people all over the world that are asking for RevAir. What I will share with everybody is, while this is huge technology and it's groundbreaking, we are a small company of less than 20 people. We all have worked with one another at some other place. We're a family, and we all left other jobs to pursue this dream. So when you buy from us, you are literally buying from a small business who just tries to make itself look big because we want to be able to be a part of this beauty world. But that you're buying from us, and that we know every order that comes through. We read every social media post. We watch every video that you make, and it really matters to us. So if you are looking during these times to support businesses who are trying to do things different and trying to stay afloat, we welcome your support and we thank you for it. So thank you so much. Hi, look at you go.
I'm back.
You're back. Okay, well, I am going to just have you guys do any final thoughts, but first, if everybody would give me a turn of their head to their non-revved side, their natural side. Okay, and then everybody turn to their rev side. So fast. We've been on this call for 20-ish, 22-ish minutes, and you guys have knocked out so much of your hair. Before we wrap up, I would love to give you each kind of what's the last thing you want people to know about Rev, or if you were talking to one of your girlfriends at lunch, what you would say. So I'll start to give you an idea. If I were talking to my girlfriends at work, first I would say, or at lunch, first I would say, you need to buy this because I'm your friend and I work there. Just kidding. No, what I would say is, you need to buy this because it works. You need to buy a RevAir because it delivers on its promise. And I've been in the beauty game for, I don't even want to say how many years, 25, almost, like a lot of years. And I have worked with a lot of amazing brands, and they were things that were fun to want, but they weren't things that you necessarily needed, and that really changed your life by having them, and how quickly you could do things, and how your hair could be healthy. So what I would say is, it is the one thing that I found in my search over years for beauty products that delivers on its promise as it said it would, except maybe Botox. That delivers too. And I need some. Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Danielle?
Okay. I think I would tell someone who has kinky hair, you need it because your hair is easier to manage when it's in its stretch state. And so when you get sweat and it's kinky, it's so easy to tangle, and then you can end up with more knots and breakage. So that's why I really like the RevAir.
Awesome. Okay, Theresa, what would you say?
Gosh, I don't want to sound weird, but it's go read our reviews on our website. And I don't want to tell you to buy it. I want you to hear from other customers that it truly has changed their lives. I mean, we get these amazing stories in our support team that it truly changes their day. They're not dreading wash day anymore. They're, just read the reviews and hashtag myRevAir and go look on Instagram of just our customers like you, Shanice, that just posted and we caught you, and it's amazing. So customers are sharing their own experience. So I feel like
that's a great piece of advice. Right? And I would love to share something that you shared with all of us, Theresa. So we're only in our second year of business, not even like our full second year. Like we're still newbies. And a couple of months in, we got a phone call and this message from a woman who, it wasn't a message, she called, and it was recorded because she was calling in customer engagement. And Theresa sent it to all of us, and it was this woman, and she was crying. And at first, I'm sure because we were new and we were thinking, oh no, what happened? Like, she's crying. And when we got into the call and you hear Theresa walking her through it and, you know, just being so lovely and kind, when it came down to it, she is a hairstylist who had to quit doing hair because her arms and back were hurting her so much. And she had to leave the salon she'd always dreamed of working at, like a fancy salon, and she was doing it a couple of days a week out of like a house. And she was even having to rethink if she was going to be able to do that. And she got RevAir and she said, oh my gosh, like I can do the thing I love again. And this is my first pain-free day. And she was crying. And so I think that you're right. When you read those reviews, like we can tell you all day long, but when you hear it from real people and people like Danielle and Shanice who spent their hard-earned money on it, they're not getting paid to do this here tonight. They volunteered to do it because they want other people to know it's real. So that, I think that's a great point, Theresa. Okay, Shanice, you get to close us up with a big old bow.
I'm big on natural hair. I'm big on like promoting like hair growth, preventing breakage, all of that. So I just tell people like this, since I've gotten this, like this is like, I don't dread having to blow out my hair. Like it's really such a simple process. And like, I really wish I could just like do this on my friends and like, let me blow out your hair, let me do it for you, because it's like, it's just so seamless and it doesn't cause all the breakage that you see when you're with the blow dryer and stuff like that. Like, I think that's the biggest thing for me, how easy it is to use and the lack of breakage, because to get long, healthy hair, you have to prevent breakage and really have healthy hair habits.
Absolutely.
For me, this is a key staple product, and I'm so glad that I spent the money on it. So
yay! Well, is there anything you guys would like to plug? Do you have a particular social media site you'd like people to follow or a website? No? Okay. Shanice?
I have my Instagram, Naturally Shanice, as you can see on the bottom, and my Facebook is the same thing, Naturally Shanice. And I post about my hair journey. I answer questions if people have questions or anything like that. So if you
she is selling confidence, folks, because there are bathing suit pictures on there. And I was like, I want some of that confidence. Could you put that in a bottle and sell it to me? So I love it. I love your spirit. Danielle, I'm so grateful for you joining us and sharing your hair journey. Before we go, a couple of things. Again, throw some purple hearts for all the people on the front line who aren't getting to do an Instagram live tonight, and people just like Shanice, who the other day I text her and she's like, I'm sorry I couldn't get back to it. I was just trying to get some sleep because I'm not at the hospital right now. And I was thinking to myself, how are you doing this for us tonight? So for people like Shanice and so many others, if you would throw some purple hearts in there. And then one last thing, today is the birthday of the man who invented RevAir. His name is Scott Thomason, and he's going to kill me for doing this, but he deserves to be known. And when RevAir becomes a household name, there'll be a Scott Thomason Day. So to the man who made tax day no longer about taxing your hair, let's say happy birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Everybody put your birthday wishes in the comment section along with your emojis. And join us on Instagram Live on Friday, where we're going to have 2 guests this week, including a 5-year-old who can rev her hair herself. So thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. It was a pleasure. Thank you.